You've already met Dr. Troy, and now you're going to get to meet his students. The students that have been working now for, I think, almost 3 years, and helping us develop the very basic framework for how we're going to use technology. Technology is one of those things that is a slippery slope in my mind. Technology will not save our language, but thoughtful use of technology can be very, very useful to us. And that's always a challenging thing to gauge. But what we'd like to do is share with you some of the projects we're working on, and a chance for the students to share with you their work. So I welcome Dr. Troy back to the podium.
Anyway, Daryl, and welcome everybody. So again, I'm Doug Troy, Computer Science and Software Engineering Department, and we've been working since about 2009 with language learning projects. As I mentioned in my previous talk, I've had projects going from undergraduates all the way through master's students, but right now we're focusing on undergraduates. And the undergraduate students work with the Myaamia project. So the ideas come from the Myaamia project. They provide all of the language expertise. They provide the recordings, the audio recordings that we use in our projects. And they critique the projects as they go along. So in kind of software engineering lingo, they're our client. The projects you'll see today are websites for language learning and our latest smartphone app project. The projects I'm going to show you aren't quite ready for release, so if you get all excited about them, you're going to have to wait till this summer. So we're planning by the end of this academic year to have these things ready to go and ready for people to use. This is my project, the teams I have with me here. Two of the websites, one is on learning Myaamia colors. So I have Scott, who's going to present the colors project. The body part, the second website is learning parts of the body. So eyes, nose, ear, torso, foot, and so forth. And I have Fan and Nguyen here to present that. And those two projects are actually continuations from that sophomore level course. So the sophomores work with the Myaamia project on these sites, and then I move those on to kind of some senior level students to polish them off and make them ready for prime time. So that's the two websites, and then the third project we're going to show you is the beginnings of what we call the home learning kit. And this is tools that people will be able to use, community members will use in the home to learn the language. And as I mentioned before, we started off with this with a graduate student project using the Smart Pen. The Smart Pen was a computer and a pen that could play audio files, but we're transitioning over to smartphone apps. So we want to use apps to be able to play audio files for Miami words, so you can hear the words and learn them in your home. So we're going to start off with the website. So I want to introduce Scott to come up here and kind of first tell you a little bit about the overall philosophy of our website design, which came from Daryl, and then to actually give you a little demonstration of the Colors website. Scott.
Hi, I'm Scott. As Dr. Troy said, we've been working on making language learning websites. They're pretty much set up like this in 3 different steps: observe, try, and test. Observe is pretty much just you're watching a video, you're looking at what you're going to be learning during the module. Try is pretty much you go through and you click on one, you select a color, select an object, and it will tell you the word that it makes together. And then test is where you can go and test how well you've actually learned it while using the module. And then I was in charge of the colors website, which was split into 5 different sections: the non-typical nouns, clothing, inanimate nouns, animate nouns, and pronouns. And then there's also a quiz part at the end that puts all of them together. So I'll just go through the first one, non-typical nouns, really quickly. This is the beginning website, which is how all of the different modules look. You can go to the 1 is observe, 2 is try, 3 is test. The question mark is info on the pages. And then there's also navigation on the side throughout the whole module. We'll start with the observant. Like I said, it's just a video. It'll actually run through.
Iki parking weke. Waping gun weke. Iki parking weke.
Pretty much, it'll go through each object and go through all the colors for that object, go to the next object, and then go through the colors again and so on. Then once you're done watching the video, you can move on to the try page where you can, like I said, select a color and then an object.
Iki parking chicken.
And it'll say it for you.
Waping gun chicken. Waping gun park.
And then once you feel confident enough that you know them,
Iki park wake.
You can move to the test module. And you, like I said, you test how well you actually learned it during the module. So that's pretty much it. You can hit the play button, hear it over again.
Okay. So he's just demonstrating 1 observe module, 1 try module, and 1 test for the different categories of nouns. That's the colors project. We're going to hold questions till the end. So next we want to show the parts of the body. Okay, this is the body parts website, and this is Hannon and Nguyen, and they'll tell you a little bit about it.
Okay, Ken and me work on the body website of the Myaamia project. The main purpose of this body parts is to teach the Myaamia language of all of our body parts and teach the language combining with personal markings. Now let's just show you the demo of the website. This is the main page of our website. The first section is about the personal markings, and you will learn more about this in other sections. The other sections are head, arm, leg, torso, and the whole body. Let's get into the head part. This is the default page. If you're not sure about what is 1, 2, and 3, you can always click to the question help section. Click to the question mark, and this is the instruction. So if you click 1, you can go to the observe page. If you click 2, you go to the try page. And if you click 3, you can go to the test page. We can always go to the very beginning main page by clicking to the home button. So now let's try the observe page. If we click 1, this is the observe page of the head. As you can see, it just displays all the body parts in Myaamia language with beginning with ni. And if we click key, it will play another video with all the same words but beginning with key. Now let's try the try page of torso. Click 2, go to the try page. You can move your mouse around and highlight the body parts. If you click it, it will play. Try another one. And again, if you click the key, it will link to another set of sounds. This is the try page. Now if we click 3, we can go to the test page. In the task page, the website will automatically play the sound, and you will listen carefully to the sound and choose body parts and try to. If you click wrong, it will show the cross mark, and if you click right, click correctly, it will show the check mark. But let's just go through all the tests. Maybe you can tell us which ones. Great. We got one correct. So in this test, we will just go through all the body parts, and in the end, it will show the scores. This is the body parts of our website. Thanks.
Okay, the third project we wanted to share with you is our home learning kit. So I'd like to have my home learning kit team come up here.
So I am a part of the home learning kit development team, and as Dr. Choi said before, the Smart Pen is kind of being closed to third-party developers. And so we were kind of like seeking options to help continue the development of the home learning kit. So we were thinking about smartphones, specifically the Apple products, iPhone, iPad, and things of that nature. And so we have an application that sort of serves as a glossary where the user can kind of go in and look at different items by room, and they can like pick items, and it'll show them the picture and it'll say the word, and you'll see some of that in a minute. And with this, you can learn the language in your home, and you can also use it on the go since it's a smartphone application. And Sean will talk a little bit more about it.
Okay, to continue what Brandon was talking about, we are working with it to facilitate the new smartphone. Most smartphones come with a camera, or you can take pictures basically. And to do that, we wanted to include a scanner that you'll see during the demo. With the scanner, one of the new technologies that's out is called a QR code. And kind of hard to see from here, but most of you have probably seen up on the page. With the QR codes, it's new technology. It basically holds information, and what we do is we take the words of the different items around the house, and it embeds those words within the image, and then you can scan it with the QR code scanner that you'll see, and it'll find the information. It'll link you to the pages. These are to help you put them. You can put them around your house, and by doing that, we have it on stickers, and so they can go throughout your house. Or if you want to, you can also put them on flashcards, and they can be used anywhere. And I'm going to turn it over to Brian for the demo of the app.
Okay, so I'm Brian, and I kind of took the lead on the development of the iPhone app. So I'll do a little demo of what we've done so far. Maybe. Yes. And so what we've built is, if you're familiar with the Myaamia app that we have here that's been developed in the past couple of years, it uses something that's called the 320 library, which if you have an iPhone and you're on Facebook, you've probably used the Facebook app, which is built with this technology. And what it makes it is it's really extensible. And so to add something new to it, you can throw another icon on the home screen and add something new to it. If you give this to a new developer, everything that's done before isn't really consequential to what you want to add to it. So say you wanted to add stories or a game for a scavenger hunt. Those things that you add can be completely unrelated to what we've done so far. So you can really hand it over to a new developer, and they can get to work on adding new things to it. And so the way we've built it is using something called a plist, which is basically an XML thing that you can have different keys for something. And so the way we have the language set up, okay.
We're just going to hold it up here. We were hoping to show it to you on the screen with the document projector, but the Miami system isn't quite switching over here. So we'll give you a kind of an idea of what's going on here.
So here's an example. We have a little ball of soap with a code on it for soap. And so you can pull out the scanner, and it's just, I guess you probably can't see this, but it just kind of looks like this. And you can put that on. And it'll scan the item and then pronounce it in the language. And so I guess people in the front row can maybe see it. And so you have the Miami word up at the top, and you can play it, as many times as you want. And then every word has a phrase associated with it. So we have "Where is the soap?" and the soap is gone, and you can play those as well. And so you can put these codes around the house, and have your child, hopefully you have a nice case on your phone for safety, and have them run around the house and scan these items. So it kind of gives you this independent, curiosity-based learning. And so, if you're sitting in the car on a road trip, you don't have the codes with you. It's also included a glossary for each of the rooms of your house. And so we have the kitchen, the bathroom, the bedroom, dining room, living room, and outside. And each one has words associated with it. So you can go to the kitchen, and you have things like kitchen stove, kitchen sink, and then soap in here. And it would be the same as it was if you had just scanned it. And you can play it all again. And so, as you're feeling a little more confident in your ability, if you want to give your child a bit more of a challenge, you say, well, go find teapot, but you can go to the settings, find the application in the settings, and turn off the English. And so the glossary will show up without any English, so they have a little bit, you lose that crutch of the English when you try to deal with it. And so like I was talking about before, it's really easy to extend this to other languages. So you could hand this off to another tribe, like say the Cherokee, and they could throw their language into it. You could give it to a Spanish teacher, at an elementary school, and you could throw Spanish into it. And so it's really easy. And so what we want to do is make it so something that it's not just useful for us, it's useful for the entire community. It's something that it can be picked up on next semester and built upon. And so we had these QR codes, and we didn't want them to have to send out these labels to everyone. So we kind of built a website so that they can get that, and we kind of built that off onto something else. So we'll have Alexi talk about the website.
Hello everyone, my name is Alexi, and I will be demoing the website if we can get it. So basically, because we're using this format, the QR codes, to contain all the data, at the initial development process, we needed a way to be able to roll out these QR codes to everyone without having the tribe physically mail them to people. So we came up with the idea of using a website, because anyone can access it from any computer, and all you need to do is print it off. So it's just a really easy point of access for everyone to be able to get to the information that they need. So you can just go into the website, go to QR codes, and then you have an option to print all of them off at once. So this will just link you to the full PDF document. This is just for the kitchen right now, but we have many QR codes. So this is basically the whole list of them right there, and you can just print them all off at once. Or if you already have some and you just need specific rooms, you can find the room that you want, click on it, and then just print those rooms specifically. And then as development kind of progressed with the app, we realized that not everyone has an iOS-enabled device, not everyone uses an iPhone. So we wanted to be able to offer the same content to everyone, regardless of what type of device you used. So we kind of just developed it to have all the same content as the iPhone app, but without the scanning feature, because we couldn't really implement that. So basically, they're categorized by rooms, just like in the application. So you have your kitchen, the bathroom, bedroom, dining room, living room, and outside. There are navigation bars up top and a navigation bar up at the top there too. So you can basically just click on a room. This is the kitchen. It has a big picture outlining the main item that it's talking about. So you can just click play.
Olympic
It'll play the base word, and then like with the app, all the phrases associated with each of these words is linked to underneath. So you have kitchen right there, and then I am in the kitchen, and then there's multiple words for each room, and then so for cooking pot pan, and then the different phrases are listed underneath, and that is the website.
Great, thanks guys. We're running out of time here, so I was going to ask each student to actually kind of, don't go away. So I was going to ask each student to kind of reflect on their experience, but maybe we'll just jump to questions here. So any questions for any of the students? And Scott and Fawn, you guys can come over here too in case a question comes up for you. So yeah, question here?
On the iPhone app, what I was thinking is there's a lot of the older version iPhones out there, number 4s and the 3s. How backward compatible will this be to some of the older iPhones, so that we might pick up something relatively cheaply?
Yeah, good question. So the question is, would the app work on older, how much backward compatibility is there with older iPhones? And we actually have 3 old ones here that we think are working, right? So yeah, so those are 3GS. So we think we have it on the 3GS.
Along with the iPhone, it also works on the iPod Touches that have a camera with them, and so it's nothing in the app is reliant on data, and so it's all built into the app. So you can be in the car with your iPod Touch without a data connection and still get all the same content.
How large is the data file with all the sound files?
It's not huge. It's too big to like update it over the air. If you had your device connected to 3G, but it's not so much that it's going to be a hindrance because the sound files are all relatively small, only a few kilobytes each, and so I don't think it really should be a big issue.
The only real limitation is that they introduced autofocus in the 3GS or 3S, so as long as you can get it to focus, it should work for any iPhone.
And it may work for the older ones. It might be a little bit frustrating.
This is really terrific. Congratulations. I mean, this is really great. My question is, maybe you stated this earlier, but the photographs, can you photograph your own home, the interior of your home and the exterior, and place that in the images?
That's not something we have in it now. It's certainly a possibility, and it's something that could be done in the future, but it's not something that in the development window that we had that we could get done.
Because then there's a closer connection.
Yeah.
Right.
With the websites, I noticed with the iPhone app, you have the word that goes along with it, so you can see the written language and also hear it spoken. Is there any possibility of having that with the websites as well, for the colors and the body parts, and being able to actually see what's being spoken?
The question was for the websites having the written word. I'll let Darryl address that.
One of the things that we've learned in second language acquisition is that if you really take the situation and the sound and put those together, that's really how languages are learned. Oftentimes the written form can become a crutch. It's something that we've learned over the years. So when we designed a lot of these programs, not so much this home learning kit per se, but a lot of the colors and a lot of the numbers, is we eliminated any real written language. So the idea is that you would associate sound with situation, which is the natural way to learn a language. It makes it a little tougher, we admit that, but it really forces you to learn, to really listen to the word, because you eliminate that written word, that crutch. And so.
2.5 minutes, okay. Another question? By the little way in the back there.
I have 2 really short questions. One is also going to be available for Android, and 2, who is it that you have doing all of the same vocal? So who read the language?
So the first question was, will it be available for Android? And not the first version. And what's the second question?
I was just curious who was it that actually read in all the language?
I couldn't quite hear it.
Who read?
Oh, who made the sound files? Is that the question?
Yes.
Okay, that's Daryl.
That's one of the big benefits of the iPhone app is you get to carry Daryl's voice with you everywhere you go.
Do you deal with some of the subtleties in color where Myaamia would describe with one word and something that English would describe two colors differently, like blue and green, subtleties in blue and green?
Yeah, actually, the whole colors project is pretty subtle because that's why there's different categories of nouns. And again, that's a question for Daryl or George or David or somebody like that. You want to address colors?
It has more of a complex answer, but yes. Colors of shades of blue and green are expressed with one word, and shades of yellow and brown are associated with one word. And that's the way the culture did it. In Algonquin languages, we often say context, context, context. And when the language is actually being used in context, there's very little confusion in that. But we understand the fact that there's lots of different shades, and the whole color scheme has got to evolve with time yet.
Oh, and sorry, addressing the Android question, we didn't really want to split development between two platforms before we could have one like totally finalized to be able to show. So we haven't focused on Android development yet, but that's kind of also the reason why we wanted to go for a web-based access. So even if you didn't have an iPhone or something, you could still get to all the same content.
And I think someday in the future we would like to support Android as well as iPhones. So there's enough work to do forever and ever.